Good day, everybody. Zaraza here. We are here with my for sale Triumph Bonneville America from 2003. It is carbureted. We're going to take this one for a rip today. Nothing so fancy. It's still a Triumph. It's not the street triple today. We'll get a little bit of choke. Fuel's already on. Let's go. Hell yeah. She's loud. I actually have no idea if this is aftermarket exhaust or not, or any of that stuff. This guy's got, as you can see, 21,728 miles on it. We're rolling over to the 28. It's got these Viking saddlebags, dual exhaust, passenger backrest. Tags are good. I've got the title. It's clean. Bike sounds good, looks good, rides good. We are gonna take it for a little rip. Maybe we'll even talk about it a little bit. We'll see. All the lights work. Mirrors are odd to adjust, but once you get them, this one flops a little bit. Haven't been able to dial it in quite so good. There we go, that might do it. She's loud. Sounds good. All right, here we are. You can see we've gone half of a mile to get out here. Choke off. Let's go. Anyways, here we are. If you missed it, this is a 2003 Triumph Bonneville America. I believe it has a 765cc carbureted engine. No tack, as you can see. The Speedmaster had a tack and it went right here. The Speedmaster, I believe in the same years, came with a larger motor, a few more doodads and farkles and things, including the tack right here. I think that, this whole deal is the same for both bikes. I believe the Speedmasters look very, very similar. Extra buttons for the computer and stuff all here that this one just doesn't have. It's got an analog odometer there, analog trip meter. Twist this to reset the trip. Very basic. As I mentioned, it is carbureted. This is a Dart windshield. The OEM windshield is one of those flat panel kind of barn door style windscreens that it removes a lot of wind, but I wasn't a huge fan of it when I first rode this bike. It puts a lot of weight on the bars. All of it's attached to the bars. So it puts a lot of weight on the bars. So at speed, it doesn't really matter as much, but for the low speed stuff, it just puts more weight and strain on the bar. So this is pretty light. I mean, this is like just bent aluminum for the brackets. It attaches underneath the fork right here, and it's a small windscreen. Like, it doesn't do a lot. It does move air away from your chest. Like, instead of hitting me like square in the chest, it kind of hits me on the more up on the top of my shoulders and in the helmet, of course. But you do get some nice breeze without it being too absolutely brutal to just sit on, ride long miles on it. Nice older gold wing there. This is definitely more of a bar hopper, I would say, than a long distance tourer. Just being carbureted, it doesn't get as good a gas mileage. I think I went 100 and change miles before I had to switch to reserve a couple of times, and it's not very many over 100. I was like 100 well, I think the one time I made it to about 125 before I had to switch to reserve, and the second time I hit, it was like almost 100 on the dot, because I had been riding the canyons of Malibu with it. So obviously you're a little bit more throttle play up and down hills and stuff like that. So mileage isn't the best for touring, but it sounds good. It looks good. It's got a little bit of battle damage here. Previous owner got crowded in a parking lot, in a crowded parking lot, and ended up just laying her down a little bit. And this dent right here is from the turn signal pod that kind of went over and cranked the tank a little bit, unfortunately. But as you can see, there's no paint chips or anything. It's still there. And since then, since I got the bike, I rolled the bars forward just a little bit, so I don't run into that same issue. I have full movement of the bars, and I can move everything from side to side with no problem. If you did want to ride this for a longer distance, you definitely can. For me, I'm 6'1", so you know, I'm on the borderline of being kind of cramped up on this bike just a little bit. Personally, I would love to get this bike with some mid controls on it, but I think just the design of the bike, it's not really gonna work as well. I'd be really cramped up because I'd be up here. So but she moves. A couple of the modifications I would probably want to make personally would be a rider backrest, just because you get a little bit extra support when you're kind of getting pushed by the wind. You're not arching so far or fighting it so bad to try and kind of stay in a good position. It'd be nice to have a little backrest to lean up against. Just in the position that I am, I think a lot of it has to do with my height. The previous owner was my dad, and he's even taller than me. He's 6'7", and this bike was definitely too small for him. He really wasn't very comfortable on it at all. He liked it well enough otherwise. He likes how it sounds, he likes how it looks. He just wasn't very comfortable riding it, so he would, you know, he wanted to get something bigger, so he upgraded, and I bought this bike from him. It was his first bike, but he was not the original owner. This bike has had at least a few previous owners. I don't know how many, but there you go. As you can hear, it's got a little bit of that pop going on the exhaust. Let's see if I can get that better. her up here in a little bit. We'll see if we can upshift a little bit. There you go, kind of getting some pops there. I mentioned I took this to Malibu, did some canyons. It's definitely not a canyon carver. It's not that heavy. Like, I could pick it up by myself. It's just not that kind of bike. I mean, it could be, I suppose. If I was going to do some canyons on it, I might get some T-bars or something that's not quite these beach cruiser bars that it's got. But it's definitely nice for cruising. As you can see, I'm not quite as spirited through there on this bike as I am on the old street triple, but that's kind of to be expected. Bike like this. The other thing I'd like to see on this bike that really isn't, I kind of originally was looking at it to be kind of a touring bike, but another thing I would whatever. Another thing that kind of detracts from it just a little bit is it is only a 5-speed gearbox, like an older Sportster. I think actually a lot of the newer model Sportsters only have 5-speed gearboxes on them too. But it's only got 5 speeds on it. I mean, it'll cruise on the highway at the flow of traffic, no problem. It'd be nice if it had a 6th gear, but it does cruise on the freeway with no problem. It's a screamer, because you're in that 5th gear. I don't know, I mean, I don't know what the revs are, obviously, because I don't have ATAC, but it's a screamer. Sounds good though. Gets very droney after a little while, but it sounds good. I like it. But like I say, this would be a good bar hopper or something like that, I would say. Let's see if I can get that drone note. Nope, not through this construction anyways. But anyway, this is 35 miles an hour and I don't know, 2nd, 3rd gear, what am I in? Something like that. Lost count. Alright, let's let her rip. All that being said, it is a fun bike. It is really fun to rip around on. Like I say, it's for sale. I'll link my offer up ad down in the description. I'm asking $3,800 for it if anybody's interested. Leave me a comment or whatnot. But all right, buddy, come on. But it is a really fun bike to rip around on. I have done some longer days on it, a couple hundred miles. A couple times, I think I've done a couple hundred miles a couple of times in a day on this guy. It does fine for that. I think I guess depending on how you run long trips, you could definitely do it. Get some good earplugs. It does get a little loud. But you could definitely do it if you run a long trip like I like to sometimes, especially when you got people with you. A lot of people with you, big group, half dozen or more. You try and stop every 100 miles or so, and this thing will definitely go 100 miles on a tank and then some. So if you need to fudge it a little bit, you can. Then it'd be great. It'd be great. It's got the little saddlebags on them. You got some space in there. You can, you know, tie a bag down to the sissy bar, all that kind of stuff. Overall, it's a great bike. Not a lot of these around in comparison to, you know, Sportsters or Bolts or whatever else. But anyways, yeah, this has been the 2003 Triumph Bonneville America. Everybody get out, ride more, have fun, like, comment, subscribe. Bye. Here we are at the end real quick. Figured I'd do a little rever for you with it warmed up. Sounds good. See you guys later. Bye.